The Hero of Time is the incarnation of Link who emerges in Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask, later returning in Twilight Princess as the silent hero spirit. He earns his legendary title after awakening from a 7-year sleep brought on by drawing the Master Sword too soon, a moment that marks the beginning of both his rise and his tragedy. By traveling through time to awaken the 6 sages and stand against Ganon, he shapes the foundation of Hyrule's history and becomes one of the most influential Links in the entire series. Yet behind his celebrated legacy lies a hero who loses his childhood, carries the weight of 2 worlds, and ultimately fades into myth with a quiet sorrow. His successes in Twilight Princess and The Wind Waker continue the path he forged, while his origins trace back to earlier heroes from Skyward Sword, the Minish Cap, and Four Swords, solidifying his place at the heart of the Zelda timeline. In the earliest moments of his life, Link, who would one day be known as the Hero of Time, spent his childhood in the Kokiri Forest, believing he was one of the forest children. In truth, he was a Hylian orphan. During the chaos of the Hyrulean Civil War, his dying mother carried her infant son through the woods and entrusted him to the Great Deku Tree for protection. Because Link was not truly a Kokiri, he grew up without a fairy companion, which caused most of the Kokiri to treat him as an outsider. Only Saria and the Great Deku Tree offered him true friendship and acceptance. Throughout his youth, he was haunted by visions of a young princess fleeing on horseback from a dark figure who radiated malice. One day, the Great Deku Tree summoned Link and gave him Navi, a blue fairy who would serve as his guide and companion on a destiny-changing journey to defend Hyrule. Link fought bravely to purge a deadly parasite that had taken root within the Guardian Tree and earned the Kokiri's Emerald, the first of the 3 spiritual stones. Though he succeeded, the Great Deku Tree had already been doomed by a curse born from the same man dressed in black that haunted Link's dreams. With his final words, the Guardian revealed Link's fate. He must leave the forest, seek out Princess Zelda of Hyrule, and take his place as the chosen hero of the Golden Goddesses. Beyond the forest, Link's path crossed with Malon, who helped him reach Hyrule Castle. There, in a quiet courtyard, he met Princess Zelda for the first time. She recognized him immediately from her own strange visions. The princess spoke of ancient legends and the Triforce, the golden power created by the 3 goddesses and hidden within the sacred realm. She explained that the relic grants the wishes of any who touch it, whether their heart seeks creation or destruction. Ganondorf, the ambitious king of the Gerudo, intended to claim this power for himself. Zelda warned her father of treachery, but the king did not heed her dreams. Link even glimpsed Ganondorf through the castle window as he swore false loyalty to the royal throne. With no one else to believe them, Link and Zelda vowed to stand against the coming darkness together. Before Link departed, Zelda's guardian Impa, last of the Sheikah protectors, guided him safely out of the castle. Link then journeyed across Hyrule and gathered the remaining spiritual stones, the Goron's Ruby and Zora's Sapphire, earning the trust of Darunia and Princess Ruto by solving the perils within Dodongo's cavern and the domain of Lord Jabu Jabu. Yet in their efforts to protect the sacred realm, Link and Zelda unknowingly helped their enemy. With the stones now united, Ganondorf launched his attack on Hyrule Castle. Zelda fled with Impa on a white horse, mirroring the scenes of Link's nightmares. As they rode past, Zelda hurled the sacred blue ocarina to him, entrusting him with her final hope. The Ocarina of Time was the key she needed him to guard. Moments later, Link faced Ganondorf in the open field. The King of Thieves demanded to know where Zelda had gone. Link drew his simple weapons in defiance, but his courage alone could not overcome the might of dark sorcery. Ganondorf struck him down effortlessly and rode off in pursuit of the princess. Determined not to fail, Link used the spiritual stones and the Ocarina of Time to open the door of time within the Temple of Time. Beyond the door rested the Master Sword, the legendary blade forged to repel all evil. But when Link pulled the sword from the pedestal of time, he was sealed away. He was too young to wield the full power of the blade or to fulfill the prophecy of the Hero of Time. The sacred realm opened the moment the sword was drawn, allowing Ganondorf, who had secretly followed Link, to cross into the Holy Land and claim the Triforce. With a single touch, he cast a vile wish that unleashed shadow across the kingdom. Yet his triumph was incomplete. His heart lacked balance. As he reached for absolute power, the Triforce shattered into 3 pieces. Ganondorf gained the Triforce of Power, the most destructive of the divine blessings, twisting the sacred realm into a corrupted reflection of his own malice. The other 2 pieces sought out those worthy of their essence. Zelda received the Triforce of Wisdom, and Link, though sealed in slumber, became bearer of the Triforce of Courage. Neither hero yet understood the power marked upon their hands. Even with his new might, Ganondorf desired total dominion. He resolved to hunt down the remaining two pieces and seize them from Link and Zelda. Meanwhile, Link lay asleep in the Chamber of Sages, where time would shape him into a hero capable of mastering the blade he had drawn too early. 7 years passed. In that long absence, Ganondorf conquered Hyrule, overthrew the royal household, and plunged the land into darkness. Zelda escaped death by hiding among the Sheikah under the name Sheik. She waited in secrecy for the one destined to return, the one who would awaken as the hero of time and challenge the king who had seized the world. Now a young adult, Link awakens from his long slumber to the weight of destiny as the hero of time. Rauru, the Sage of Light, recounts the events that transpired during the 7 years he lay sealed and instructs him that he must prove himself worthy of the title he has been granted. Armed with the Master Sword, guided by the Ocarina of Time, and aided by Sheik's counsel, Link journeys across Hyrule and through the threads of time itself to awaken the 6 sages. Many of these allies reveal themselves to be friends from his childhood, each endowed with mystical power in the form of medallions. Together, they hold the strength to bind Ganondorf and restore light to a kingdom shrouded in darkness. Link's quest leads him through 6 treacherous temples, facing monsters of unimaginable power. He confronts Twin Rova, Ganondorf's surrogate mother, and even comes face to face with a shadow of himself forged from evil. Each victory awakens a sage and strengthens the bonds of destiny. At last he returns to the Temple of Time, where Sheik reveals the full meaning of the Triforce, why it was divided, and the roles of its 3 bearers. Then, in a moment of revelation, Sheik transforms before his eyes to reveal her true identity as Princess Zelda, the 7th sage and the leader of the Order. After 7 long years apart, Zelda greets her steadfast partner and shares her plan to seal Ganondorf in the evil realm. She entrusts him with the light arrows, weapons capable of piercing the defenses of the Dark King. Their reunion is cut short as Ganondorf, long awaiting this moment, captures Zelda within a magical crystal of shimmering pink. From the ruins of Hyrule Castle, now twisted into his dark fortress, he challenges Link to enter his stronghold, daring him to reclaim the princess. Undeterred, the hero of time, aided by the awakened 6 sages, crosses a bridge of gleaming metal and shatters 6 elemental barriers with the light arrows, confronting Ganondorf in the heart of his citadel. In the throne room, where Zelda is imprisoned above the chamber, the 3 Triforce pieces resonate as if seeking unity. A deadly duel erupts between Link and Ganondorf. Despite the evil king's immense power, Link strikes him with unmatched skill, leaving him bleeding and enraged. In fury, Ganondorf shatters the ceiling, collapsing the tower around them. Protected by the Triforce of Courage, Link remains unscathed while Zelda is freed from her crystal prison. Ganondorf, unwilling to be defeated, rises from the ruins, his hatred blazing. He unleashes the full force of the Triforce of Power and transforms into Ganon, a monstrous boar-like demon wielding twin golden swords. The hero of time is momentarily thrown off balance, the Master Sword torn from his grasp and sent skittering towards Zelda. The battlefield becomes a crucible as Link faces Ganon in a fight more perilous than any before. Though Ganon's body is strengthened by the essence of the goddess Din, Link discovers the demon's weakness, his tail. With skill, courage, and the aid of the Master Sword, light arrows, the Triforce of Courage, and the Sage's power, Link weakens Ganon, finally bringing him to the brink of defeat. Zelda, summoning her remaining strength, restrains the demon as Link delivers the final righteous strike. The Master Sword pierces Ganon, striking him down even as the Triforce of Power struggles to preserve his life. The 7 sages combine their powers, binding him and banishing him to the void of the evil realm, ending his 7-year reign of terror. The King of Evil, returned to human form, vows vengeance upon Link, Zelda, and the sages should the seal ever break. With Hyrule finally free, Link proves his worth as the hero of time. Zelda, using her wisdom and the Ocarina of Time, sends him back 7 years to reclaim the childhood he had lost. The Master Sword returns to its pedestal, sealing the sacred realm and closing the path between times. In doing so, Zelda unknowingly creates 2 separate timelines. The child timeline, where Link returns to his youth, and the adult timeline, where the events of Ocarina of Time unfolded. The hero of time vanishes from this branch of history, leaving only legend in his wake. His Triforce of Courage shatters into fragments scattered across the land, destined to empower a future hero in another age, marking the end of one saga and the beginning of a new chapter in Hyrule's destiny. Returned to his original time permanently in the alternate child timeline, Link faces a world that feels both familiar and hollow. His trusted companion Navi, her mission fulfilled, suddenly departs without a word, leaving the hero of time alone once more. Memories of his 7-year adventure remain vivid in his mind as he rides to the Hyrule castle courtyard. There, he warns Princess Zelda and the King of Hyrule of Ganondorf's looming threat and the catastrophic future that would unfold if the Gerudo King is not stopped. The Triforce of Courage, still etched on his hand, serves as proof of his knowledge and of the power he once wielded. The royal family, convinced by his warning, grants him their trust and sanctuary for a short while. Before long, Link tells Zelda that he must undertake a secret personal journey. In her wisdom, the princess entrusts him with the Ocarina of Time and instructs him to travel far from Hyrule. His mission is to prevent Ganondorf from ever reaching the Sacred Realm, a path that will ultimately see him imprisoned and, in the event of Twilight Princess, sentenced to death. Mounted on his faithful horse Epona, ocarina in hand, Link departs once more to search for his missing fairy companion. Yet the separation from the elements that forged him as a hero causes the Triforce of Courage in this timeline to vanish, stripping him of the mystical power granted by the goddess Furore. Months later, in a distant forest at the outskirts of Hyrule, Link is ambushed and drawn into a parallel world known as Termina. This land teeters on the brink of destruction, threatened by a sinister moon that will crash upon the world in 3 days. The chaos is orchestrated by the Skull Kid, possessed by the malevolent power of Majora's Mask, an artifact of evil comparable to Ganondorf himself. Instructed by the enigmatic Happy Mask salesman who seems to know him from Hyrule, Link must seize the ancient mask and stop the catastrophe. His search for Navi is forced onto hold as he embarks on a second, darker journey, facing challenges that test his courage and resolve more than ever before. Guided by the Ocarina of Time and aided by a new, spirited fairy companion named Tatl, Link transforms through magical masks into a Deku Scrub, Goron, and Zora, even becoming a colossal giant at times. He awakens the 4 giants from their capture within 4 sacred temples and helps the people of Termina with their troubles, earning masks as tokens of gratitude. He regains old items such as the Lens of Truth and the Light Arrows. Eventually, he discovers the mysterious Fierce Deity Mask, a relic imbued with the dark, devastating power of his adult self, essential for confronting the final threat. In the climactic battle atop the moon, Link faces Majora's Mask in 3 increasingly powerful forms. Transformed into the Fierce Deity, he wields unimaginable strength, ultimately shattering the evil mask and destroying the moon itself, saving Termina from annihilation. As a new day dawns, the freed Skull Kid offers thanks and recalls Link as the one who once taught him Saria's song in the Lost Woods. The Happy Mask salesman reappears with the powerless Majora's Mask and commends the hero for the happiness he brought to countless lives. Link parts ways with Tatl and resumes his journey to find Navi, riding Epona once more. In Termina, he notices a beam of light illuminating a tree stump, the site of his original ambush. There, Skull Kid left a drawing of himself, Link, Tatl, Tail, and the 4 giants waving in farewell. Yet when Link returns to Hyrule, Termina itself ceases to exist. The hero of time finds himself back at the beginning, his deeds erased from the record of both worlds. He is alone once again, a savior whose victories leave no trace, and his future, as always, remains uncertain. Though Link had saved both Hyrule and Termina from certain destruction and left an indelible mark on the adult timeline, his fate in the child timeline was far bleaker. In this alternate universe, his legendary title never existed. His closest friends were lost to time, and the Sacred Realm remained sealed, preventing any return to the world where his true heroism belonged. Trapped in a reality where no one recognized his deeds, the hero of time was forced to carry the weight of his triumphs in silence. Even after warning the royal family and halting Ganondorf's schemes, his acts were largely forgotten. The Gerudo warlock, though seemingly defeated, survived through the power of the Triforce of Power and was cast into the Twilight Realm, leaving Link's efforts to bring justice largely unacknowledged. His search for Navi, his faithful companion, ended in sorrow as she abandoned him without farewell. In Termina, despite defeating Majora, a malevolent force rivaling Ganondorf in danger, the Skull Kid recognized him, but neither the Happy Mask salesman nor Tatl offered the acknowledgement he deserved, their focus consumed by their own agendas. Termina itself was doomed. a world born of memories and the corrupt power of Majora's Mask, destined to vanish regardless of his heroism. Despite his victories, Link lived a life of quiet despair. His remarkable deeds were never celebrated, and the weight of unrecognized heroism and unfulfilled bonds left him isolated. He bore the same sorrow Zelda felt in the years when Hyrule fell under Ganondorf's rule, trapped by the consequences of actions beyond his control. Eventually, the once great hero passed away at an unknown age, his life marked by regret and solitude. Even in death, Link could not find rest. Bound by unending remorse, his spirit lingered in the world of the living, unable to pass on the wisdom and skills he had mastered. His chance for redemption arrived over a century later in the form of a new hero. Manifesting as a towering, ghostly swordsman and pale golden wolf known as the hero's spirit, Link appeared to his descendant, the Link of Twilight Princess, the hero of Twilight. There, he imparted 7 powerful techniques, the hidden skills, teaching the young hero the mastery of the sword and the courage needed to confront Ganondorf. Only after the hero of Twilight had learned these skills did the hero of Time finally find peace, his regrets lifted, and he was able to pass into the afterlife. In the distant future of this timeline, evil once again arose in the form of a new Ganondorf, prompting another incarnation of Link, this time multiplied into 4, to rise and defeat both Ganondorf and Vati in the Trials of Four Swords adventures. Yet even then, the legacy of the hero of Time was forgotten once more, a legend lost to the sands of time, remembered only in whispers and shadows. In the adult timeline, the hero of Time's deeds were celebrated for generations. Link's victory over Ganon became legend, and Hyrule enjoyed a long era of peace. Yet the consequences of Princess Zelda's choice to send him permanently back to the child timeline left the kingdom without a true hero. Over time, the seal crafted by the 6 sages to imprison Ganondorf faltered for reasons unknown, and the Gerudo King rose once more in his monstrous form, fueled by the Triforce of power that had never been lost. Darkness spread across Hyrule, and the people prayed for the return of the hero of Time. But he never came. Link and his companions had long vanished into history, leaving the land defenseless. With no resistance, Ganon seized the kingdom with terrifying ease. The current king of Hyrule, Daphne's no Hansen Hyrule, managed to temporarily extract the Triforce of power and split the Triforce of wisdom into fragments, yet even this could not halt the villain. Desperate, the king called upon the goddesses, and with their guidance, Hyrule was flooded under a cataclysmic downpour. Chosen people fled to the mountaintops while the seas swallowed the kingdom and Ganon, creating what would become the Great Sea. The memory of Hyrule faded beneath the waves, but the legend of the hero of Time endured on the winds. Centuries later, during the events of the Wind Waker, Ganon broke free once more. He was weakened, yet driven by his desire to claim the Triforce again. On a distant island, a long tradition remained in which boys who reached the age of the hero of Time wore green tunics and hats and sought swords to honor the legendary warrior. From this custom, a new hero emerged, the Hero of Winds, destined to carry on the legacy of the Hero of Time. With the help of an unaware descendant of Princess Zelda, the King of Red Lions, and the painful kidnapping of his sister Hyrule, this new Link confronted the returning King of Evil and triumphed. In doing so, he kept the spirit and teachings of his predecessor alive. The echoes of the Hero of Time persisted even further into the eras of Phantom Hourglass and Spirit Tracks, as the Phantom Sword and Locomo Sword were forged in the image of the Master Sword. These weapons, crafted in homage to Link's legendary mastery of the Sacred Blade, ensured that the Hero of Time's legacy would endure across generations, even as he himself remained lost to the child timeline and history's shadows. Although the Hero of Time's triumph over Ganon is celebrated in Ocarina of Time, there exists a darker possibility, a path where tragedy eclipses victory. In this scenario, during the final battle, Link falls to the hand of the main antagonist, whether in his human form or as the chosen Hero of Time. This event gives rise to a third branch of the canon timeline known as the Downfall Timeline. In this reality, Link fails his mission, and Ganon seizes victory, removing his greatest obstacle and asserting dominion over Hyrule. With the hero slain, the King of Evil claims the Triforce of Courage from Link's lifeless body and takes Princess Zelda's Triforce of Wisdom, uniting the complete Triforce and gaining the true Force at last. Even in the face of despair, the 7 sages refuse to yield. In a final, desperate act, they combine their powers to seal Ganon within the evil realm. Hyrule finds a fleeting peace, but the land mourns its fallen champion. Princess Zelda, the Six Sages, and Navi grieve for their lost friend, whose sacrifice ensured the survival of the kingdom. As centuries pass, the doorway to the sacred realm reopens, sparking the conflict known as the Imprisoning War. Armies clash for control of the Triforce, many never to return. Ganon's minions swarm the land, and though the seven wise men succeed in resealing the gate, countless Hyrulean knights perish, leaving the kingdom weakened and impoverished. From the shadows, a dark sorcerer named Aghanim rises, corrupting Hyrule's soldiers, slaying the king, and capturing 6 of the 7 descendants of the 7 wise men, the maidens, to weaken Ganon's seal. The last remaining maiden, a new Princess Zelda, calls out through telepathy to the incarnation of Link in this era, the hero of legend, urging him to embark on a perilous quest. This marks the beginning of the events chronicled in A Link to the Past. In this downfall timeline, as with the child timeline, the deeds of the hero of time are gradually forgotten. The legend of his courage and sacrifice fades from memory, leaving the world to struggle without his guiding hand. The events of A Link to the Past, Link's Awakening, Oracle of Seasons and Ages, A Link Between Worlds, Triforce Heroes, Echoes of Wisdom, The Legend of Zelda, and the adventure of Link unfold in this timeline, yet the hero of time's name becomes a ghost of the past, a legacy known only in whispers and shadows. The hero of time's legend stands as one of the most pivotal pillars in the history of the Legend of Zelda series. This incarnation of Link shaped the course of the entire timeline, his struggle against Ganondorf marking the moment when history itself fractured into 3 separate branches, the downfall, child, and adult timelines. The climactic contest for the Triforce determined the fate of Hyrule and defined the paths of countless heroes to come. In one continuity, Ganon claimed the Triforce of Power, leading to the hero of time's tragic defeat and the creation of the downfall timeline. In another, where Link successfully overcomes the King of Evil, Princess Zelda sends him back to his original time, splitting history into the child timeline and adult timeline. In the adult timeline, the Triforce of Courage is lost to the time paradox, the hero vanishes from existence, and Hyrule eventually succumbs to flooding after the 7 Sages' seal fails. In the child timeline, Link lives with the weight of his unrecognized heroism, never remembered for saving Hyrule or Termina, his spirit lingering as the hero's spirit during the era of Twilight. Even as Hyrule sank beneath the waves in the adult timeline and the kingdom faded from memory, the hero of time's influence endured. On Outset Island, a tradition arose, dressing boys in green upon reaching maturity, honoring the courage of the legendary boy clad in green. A statue of the hero of time stands proudly within the sunken ruins of Hyrule Castle, a lasting testament to the impact of his deeds. Centuries later, when the hero of winds emerged to confront Puppet Ganon, the villain himself recognized the young hero as the reincarnation of the hero of time, acknowledging that the courage and spirit of the legendary boy who had defeated him centuries before now lived anew. The tragic life of the hero of time reaches its fullest meaning when viewed through the echoes he left behind. Though his victories reshaped eras and altered the very flow of history, Link himself paid a heavy price for heroism. He saved kingdoms that would forget him, fought battles that fractured reality, and carried burdens no child should ever bear. Whether lost to a vanished future, erased by a paradox, or wandering unrecognized in the world he safeguarded, his fate was marked by sacrifice rather than celebration. Yet even in sorrow his spirit endured. Traditions formed, legends persisted, and new heroes rose because of the courage he once carried alone. The hero of time may have lived a life defined by tragedy, but his legacy remains one of eternal strength, a quiet proof that even forgotten heroes can reshape the ages.